Hello, friends. I hope this story finds you with one quiet minute today. She spoke the truth in daylight. Then tonight, a stamped envelope demanded DNA and claimed Min. It wasn't a court order, just fear dressed like authority, slipped under the gate. Will calm boundaries hold when the attack comes as paperwork, not words? If you'd like more gentle stories with strong hearts, please like this video and subscribe. Today we'll step into that night and watch what Tu Tien chooses when peace is tested again. By late afternoon, the house had returned to small, ordinary sounds, the kettle clicking off, Min padding around in socks, Anna humming Christmas music under her breath. Little star still hung on the tree, faint pencil on wood, soft as a promise. Tu Tien stood at the sink, washing bowls that were already clean, repeating a motion she didn't need. Because sometimes your hands do what your heart can't yet do. Have you ever noticed how your body keeps bracing, even after the danger leaves? Tu Tien didn't say it out loud, but her shoulders answered for her. Earlier, she had stood in daylight and let her voice survive the room. She had spoken, and the village had listened. That should have been the end of it, and yet her breath still came shallow. Her ribs still held tight, as if the moment danger leaves is exactly when your body starts looking for where it might return. The bowls were clean. Her hands kept scrubbing anyway. Jack came behind her and slipped his hands around her waist. He didn't pull her back. He simply held her there, warm and steady, like he was lending her his calm until she could find her own. "Tonight we rest," he murmured. A soft clink sounded at the gate. Tu Tien froze. Jack's hands tightened, not to trap her, but to anchor her. "Stay here," he said. "I'll check." What scares you more? The loud threat you can point at, or the quiet one you can't? Jack opened the door. Cold air rushed in. The yard was empty, but an envelope lay under the step, plain and thick, the kind of paper that feels heavy before you read it. There was nothing else to look at. No person to confront, no voice to answer. Just the envelope, waiting to be the new voice in the house. Jack picked it up and carried it inside. He didn't open it right away. He looked at Tu Tien first. Now or later? Everything in her wanted later. Silence had once been her hiding place, the place she retreated when she felt cornered. But this morning was still in her bones. Daylight, witnesses, her own words standing up in a room that once swallowed them. If she chose later now, fear would choose the time for her. "Now," she whispered. Then quieter. "We don't hide anymore." Jack slid a finger under the flap and opened the envelope. A printed letter slipped out with a stamp from a local office. The stamp didn't shout. It didn't have to. It carried that particular kind of confidence that tries to make you obey before you even understand. Request for paternity confirmation. Statement of grandparental interest. Have you ever watched official language try to shrink a family into a few cold lines? Tu Tien's hand flew to her belly. For one beat, it felt like the room tilted. "They want Min," her voice broke. "They want to pull us back. Not back into a conversation. Back into a version of her life where she was always the one defending her right to stand where she stood." Mom Loy's cup rattled once. Mr. Dung took the page, read fast, then looked up, calm on purpose. "This is not a court order," he said. "It's pressure. Fear dressed as paperwork." He didn't say it to sound brave. He said it to keep the air clear, because confusion is where intimidation thrives. If a bully can't win in public, What do they try next? They try paper, they try stamps, they try clean fonts and official phrasing. They try to make you feel small without ever raising their voice, because a quiet threat can be easier to deny afterward. Officer Thu stepped forward, steady and practical. "Keep the original, make copies, don't answer directly," she said. "If she contacts you, you respond through the proper channel. If she shows up again, you call me." Why does one simple step, make copies, feel like taking back your breathing? Because it turns fear into something you can handle. The original means the moment can't be rewritten. Copies mean you can share facts without giving away your only proof. And proper channel means you don't get dragged into a fight at the gate, where pressure wants you emotional and alone. This wasn't about winning an argument. It was about not letting intimidation set the rules. Tu Tien swallowed. "What if they drag us to court?" she whispered. "What if the village laughs again?" Jack crouched in front of her, eye level, so she wouldn't have to look down at her fear. "Then we go," he said. "Not to fight dirty, to stand in truth. You won't do it alone." His voice stayed low. The promise was in the steadiness, not the volume. Mom Loy's voice trembled with anger and love. "When you were thrown out before, you had no witnesses," she said. "Now you do." The sentence carried history, and it carried a change in that history. Mr. Dung tapped the folder on the table. "We have the midnight intimidation. We have today's witnesses. Paper meets paper." In that moment, paper wasn't just paperwork. It was record. It was a way to hold the line without turning into the kind of person who hurts back just to feel powerful. Here's the downshift. Because fear can make everything spin. This letter wasn't a judge. It was pressure. Tu Tien tried to breathe deeper, but her chest felt tight. Her palm pressed over little star. "The baby," she whispered. "What if stress hurts the baby?" The question wasn't theoretical. Her body was already answering it with shaking hands and a racing heart. Jack's face softened instantly. "Then we protect you tonight," he said. "And tomorrow we see Dr. Ha. We don't guess." It was a boundary made of care. No spiraling, no imagining the worst, just the next right step. Quick recap, because it matters. Tu Tien stood in daylight and the village heard her truth. Now the past is trying to pull her back with a cold letter. That night, Jack made dinner simple. Ginger soup and warm rice. He didn't let Tu Tien lift anything, and he didn't let her apologize for needing rest. He treated rest like it was something she was allowed to have, not something she had to earn. When Anna and Min were asleep, Tu Tien lay on her side, one hand over her belly, listening to the quiet that comes after a threat. What does safety look like when it isn't dramatic? Just someone saying, "We rest." It looks like a bowl set down without urgency. It looks like not being asked to explain yourself. It looks like a home that keeps its ordinary rhythm even when fear tries to interrupt it. Tu Tien stared into the dim of the room and let the truth come out in a whisper. "The worst thought," she confessed, "is that peace isn't meant for me." Jack pressed his forehead to hers. "Peace isn't a prize," he said. "It's something we build again tomorrow." He didn't deny the fear. He didn't lecture it. He simply placed tomorrow in front of it, like a door she could walk through. In the morning, the clinic smelled like disinfectant. Dr. Ha greeted them with kind eyes and no curiosity, the kind of kindness that doesn't demand a story in exchange. Tu Tien's blood pressure was high. Her hands were cold. She showed the letter, and her voice shook, not because she didn't know what was true, but because her body was still bracing. Why can a calm doctor's voice sometimes do what fear can't? Because it meets your body where it is. Dr. Ha listened, then said gently, "Stress matters, but fear doesn't own your pregnancy. Let's check the baby, and let's check you." She didn't treat the letter like gossip. She treated it like stress with consequences, and she treated Tu Tien like someone worth protecting. The ultrasound room was dim. The screen glowed. Then, there it was, a flicker, a heartbeat. How can one tiny flicker change the weight of an entire day? Because it answers the question your fear keeps asking. Tu Tien's lungs filled like she'd been underwater. Tears slipped out before she could stop them. Jack's hand tightened around hers with careful tenderness, and she let herself lean into that steadiness. Dr. Ha smiled. "Strong," she said. "Little one is doing well." Anna, very soft, whispered, "Hi, little star," like she was speaking to someone already loved. After the scan, Dr. Ha added, "You're slightly anemic. Rest more. Eat iron-rich foods, and keep conflict away from your body. Boundaries are medical too." The words were gentle, but they were firm. Her message wasn't only about food or numbers. It was about what Tu Tien was allowed to refuse. Jack nodded once. "We can do that." Another downshift, slow and plain. The baby was doing well. Tu Tien's body was asking for rest, not for guessing. On the way home, Tu Tien held the ultrasound printout against her chest like it was a shield made of paper and love. Jack talked about calm walks and soup, not revenge. He didn't talk about punishing anyone. He talked about keeping conflict away, the way Dr. Ha had said, because the point wasn't to win a battle. The point was to keep a family safe. When they reached the gate, a small cloth bag hung from the latch. Inside were oranges, dried dates, and a folded note in shaky handwriting. "We saw, we believe. If she comes again, we will speak." What does it do to your fear when someone else says, "We saw it"? It makes you stop wondering if you're alone in your own reality. Tu Tien's throat tightened. "They're with us," she whispered. Jack exhaled slowly. "Daylight spreads," he said. Not as poetry, but as observation. Because once people speak once, it can be easier to speak again. That awning Mr. Dung arrived with 2 signed witness statements. Names, dates, what they heard at the gate, what they heard in the room. No gossip. Just facts. Written down the way facts can stand when feelings get pushed around. Why do facts on paper feel different than truth spoken out loud? Because paper stays where voices can be interrupted. Paper can be copied, filed, and read later by someone who wasn't there when fear showed up. Mr. Dung set the statements on the table. Mom Loy touched the papers, eyes shining for a second before she turned away. Mr. Dung's voice dropped. "Steady," he murmured to her, and she nodded like she understood exactly what he meant. Recap, just to keep our footing. The threat came as a letter, and the response became a plan. Copies, witnesses, medical care, and rest. When the house finally quieted, Jack lifted the wooden ornament off the tree and turned it over. On the back, he wrote one word. Daylight. He handed it to Tu Tien. "For the day you found your voice," he said. He didn't add anything else. He didn't need to. The word carried everything the letter tried to erase. Tu Tien traced the letters with her thumb. "And if another letter comes?" she whispered. Fear was quieter now, but it was still there, testing the edges. Jack looked at the gate, then back at her. Then we answer it the same way, he said. With witnesses, with truth, with rest, with love. Here's that first callback, because it matters. The stamped envelope was meant to feel heavier than daylight, but daylight had already started leaving fingerprints on statements, on support, on that single word. Officer Thu stepped in to say goodnight, phone in her hand. Her expression stayed calm, but serious. They moved Toan's hearing up, she said. And your ex-husband's family has been asking questions again. What happens when the past doesn't storm the door but just keeps knocking? Tu Tien's stomach tightened. Old fear, old history. For a moment, the cold letter and the warm printout seemed to compete for space in her mind. But she didn't shrink. She didn't step backward into silence. She placed her palm over little star and lifted her chin. Then let them ask, she whispered. We don't hide anymore. She said it softly, the way you say something when you mean it and you're done negotiating with fear. We don't hide anymore wasn't a challenge thrown across a yard. It was a boundary placed inside her own body, right where the bracing had lived. Can one sentence keep you steady when the next threat arrives on paper? Not by pretending you're unafraid. It holds because it points you toward what already worked. When the envelope slid under the step, they opened it instead of letting it rot in silence. When the language tried to claim Min, Mr. Dung named it as pressure, not law. When the rules sounded confusing, Officer Thu turned them into simple moves. Keep the original, make copies, respond through the proper channel. When Tu Tien's body showed the cost, Dr. Ha didn't ask for drama. She checked the baby, saw the heartbeat, and reminded them boundaries are medical too. And now, with oranges and dried dates at the gate, with "we saw" and "we believe" written in shaky ink, with 2 witness statements and 1 ornament marked daylight, the family had something fear hates, people and proof. Toan's hearing had moved up, questions were starting again, but daylight had already begun to spread. And that matters, because paper can be copied too. If the attack comes in ink again, it will meet ink that tells the truth, plainly. She didn't say it louder. She didn't need to. Jack nodded. Officer Thu stayed calm with her phone in hand. Mr. Dung closed the folder, and Mom Loy rinsed her cup, steadying herself with routine. The house returned to the kind of quiet that holds both fear and relief. Tu Tien held the ornament with daylight on the back, then pressed the ultrasound printout against her chest. 2 pieces of paper, 1 word, 1 heartbeat. Recap. Fear arrived as paperwork, and they answered with calm care, with documented truth, always, and breathed a little deeper. Daylight didn't erase the past, but it changed the way it landed. An envelope tried to claim Min and shake Tu Tien back into silence. Yet Mr. Dung named it for what it was. Pressure, not a court order. Officer Thu gave them a calm path. Keep the original, make copies, some answer through proper channels, call if she returns. Jack kept the night gentle with ginger soup and rest, then chose medicine over guessing at Dr. Ha's clinic. The screen glowed, the heartbeat flickered, and little star proved strong. With iron, boundaries, and quiet care, her body could settle. At the gate, oranges and a note, "We saw, we believe," turned fear outward into witnesses. Signed statements and one word, daylight, met ink with truth. Even with Toon's hearing moved up and questions rising again, she held her chin steady and didn't hide.